man NJ to the city with the number 2 and TO. Let's go. So as I'm sitting here in my bedroom, ranting to myself, writing to myself, and watching YouTube on TV, I just stumbled upon a golden key line. By the way, here's the golden key line. Because actually, yeah, this video might go on. I don't know how long, but it just started. So, NJ to the City News. If you don't know it, once again, check my Snapchat for the link to it, because I have to get the domain back, and/or I already bought the domain, so I just gotta, put in my my card info, and hopefully the domain will be activated again, or I gotta buy a new one. I don't know. We'll see, and so on. But it is NJ2THECITYNEWS.com. Brought to you by Wix.com, etc. Credited with Wix 2 years ago in 2019. I was yet to post on it, surprisingly enough. Actually, the two dumbest things I just realized is that not only it took 2 years later for me to finally put my first post on it, but the reason why it took 2 years to do it was because I just realized within the last night specifically, I just realized I can actually still post on my site. It's just the domain is the inactive part. The domain that I bought for it is the inactive part. And so if I had known this 2 years ago, I think if I had known this 2 years ago, I would have been totally all in on NJ to the City News, the website. 2 years ago, still, as much as I'm trying to be into it now. But the reason why I took that break was because financial troubles at the time, and I was trying to get it back online, but because of financial troubles, I didn't know if I could still post on it at all without it's almost hard to explain, but I didn't know I could post on it without having a card on file. Let alone, I think back then it said I had to be on a laptop, and now I can post on it without a laptop. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's also kind of not hard to explain. But it was just a bunch of confusion, definitely. And if I have an easier way to explain it, I'll do it later on. But here's the thing I just realized. Ladies and gentlemen, I will never apologize for telling anybody these 4 things, probably, if not many more. I will never apologize for telling you to go to church. I will never apologize for obeying my calling. I will never apologize, did I even say, for calling you a fraud or a hypocrite when your footsteps align with the doctrine of Christ, that you are exactly what I'm saying that you are. Because again, if you rewind back to the Bible, in Jesus' time when he was, I think at that church, right, and outside of the church, he had the merchants and they were selling their goods and yada, yada, yada. Jesus whipped them all away, chased them all away, saying, again, you are hypocrites. You are fools, and yada, yada, yada. It's like saying, I will never apologize for being Christ-like. I won't. And I think that's what so many people don't get about me. And God forgive me if I ever do bend the knee and apologize for following Christ, apologize for being Christ-like. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not stand up for, and Tim Tebow was one of the top people who've said this because it's really common sense. If you don't stand up for something, you're gonna fall for anything. If you don't stand up for your beliefs, then what are you? I mean, in the Bible again outlines this as perfectly and crisp as can be when it comes to lukewarm Christians, lukewarm people. And the Bible says God will spit you out of his mouth. And God's my witness to all future Christians out there, let alone all Christians in general. God's my witness. I feel like the biggest problem we're facing today in cancel culture is that we need to start embracing our persecutions rather than, dare I say, embracing our persecutions rather than trying to, I want to say prolong them, but I don't think that's the word. Run from them, embracing our persecutions rather than trying to run from them or trying to, I guess the word, the sentence is, goodness gracious. I know the first is run from them, and I feel like the
Instead of embrace them,
rather than try to run from them, rather than also trying to, I guess is the word or the another best phrase of it is, rather than trying to buy ourselves more time before we have to, again, face the world's wrath. Dare I say? That's another way to phrase it. I think the prolong is the right word, but not fully sure honestly. But I'm pretty sure it is because God's my judge and witness, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's one of the top problems that we have in our society, in our culture, especially God bless us Christians, is that a lot of us we are so we and I think cancel culture is a test for so many of us Christians out there that some of us, if not a lot of us, are failing at every single day because we just don't get it. Once again, like I understand, and when it comes to some things within cancel culture, you're thinking to yourself, this shouldn't be possible, this shouldn't be happening, this isn't right, yada yada. I get all that, I get it, but God is my judge and my witness. Jesus as my soul. I definitely think that's one of the top things about cancel culture, on top things just about in general. We need to start embracing our persecutions rather than trying to run from them or bend the knee for the moment to justify whatever. And God knows the other ways that I'm trying to phrase it. There's like 5 other different ways I'm trying to phrase that. But God, my judge and witness there's many different ways I'm trying to phrase that. But I think that's again, the first half of it is on point. The second half, there's so many different ways to phrase the second half of it. But I think you get my point. Because one of my biggest points, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm never gonna apologize for telling you what the Bible says. Quote me to anybody on this earth. I'm never gonna apologize for telling you what the Bible says. I'm never gonna apologize for telling you to go to church. I'm never gonna apologize for following my calling. I'm never gonna apologize for fighting for my calling. Fighting for my purpose. And a plethora of other things that I can name there. For example, when it comes to calling people, again, those common words of hypocrite, fraud, and more. I will never apologize for calling you those words when vice versa Christ called those merchants in the temple those exact same words. Why? Because their footsteps were in line with those words.
God is my judge and
my witness. I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. But I feel like in so many cases, like Justin Fields says about being drafted to the Bears and the situation he's in to become starter eventually, if not immediately.
I know I was built
for this, born for this, made for this. Now, of course, I've questioned my own life a plethora of times and thought to myself, why am I even still here? God should have killed me years ago.
But I mean it when I
tell you that when I'm not on my depressed, sad, mopey, dopey stuff, and so on, when I'm back on my, I ain't gonna say high horse, but when I'm back on my, got my head back on straight, I mean it when I say I'm fearless, I'm dangerous, can't nothing stop me, and you will not, I won't say attack me or whatever other words I can put there. I mean it when I tell you God built me so much stronger than what over the last year I have, or the last couple of years I think, that I have portrayed. He has built me so much stronger, and God is my judge. Because again, I used to live a fearless life when it comes to God's rhetoric, comes to the doctrine of Christ. I used to live a fearless life. Well, I promise you, I used to. And somewhere over the last year or so, I let depression, I let fear, I let a bunch of this stuff creep into my soul, or creep into my soul. I started being more human, hashtag, and I started being in exchange so brittle where I could be shaken by almost anything. God is my witness. God, you built me so much stronger than this and or than that. I don't know my timetable getting back on my